Now hold on, wait a second. What do we see here? Game challenges. Yes, you can now head to my website and challenge me through this button here. And I should mention to say this is not about competition. It's about learning. So feel free to challenge me anytime and I'll be accepting your challenges randomly on Sundays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So simply go to my website www.casperchess.com. The link is also in the comment section down below and click on the challenges tab. Right. What I want to do to my opponent is this. I want to try out a beautiful trap against them in the Gunsberg variation, starting with a move pawn to e4. If pawn to e5, I'm going to play the normal knight to f3, so that after knight c6, I may transpose this into the 4 knights game like this. Try this opening. You will notice that when you develop your first 2 knights in the opening stage, your opponent is more likely to copy you by this time as well. So that's why I like playing the 4 knights. Now the move I'm dreaming of is pawn to a3. I did a whole video about this amazing variation, which I believe has popped up in the card above, but let me just show you one little trap in the Gunsberg variation or the Gunsberg variation, whichever word. So if black plays the top played move bishop c5, the plan is to go knight takes e5. I just want to sacrifice my knight so that if knight takes, I can go pawn to d4, trying to force black to give up his bishop pair very early in the opening stage, because in this position, bishop takes d4 is the only correct move. But I don't know why most people like playing bishop d6, allowing white to go pawn to f4. By the way, you can also take if you want, but f4 is more matured. If knight g6, you go pawn to e5. Anyways, black is still gonna lose a piece here. If bishop e7, you can simply ignore this and add more salt to the wound. The thing is, you're gonna walk away with a piece, whether black likes it or not. So this is the idea that I want to try against any of my opponents that I'm going to challenge. By the way, Magnus Carlsen also tried this opening when he was 11 years old in an OTB tournament. Though his opponent didn't play bishop c5, let me just show you what Carlsen's opponent did. Instead of bishop c5, his opponent, who I believe was Samsa, played pawn to g6. Then Magnus still sacrificed his knight on e5. What's wrong with that dude? God, this is just a free knight. But anyways, Magnus had another idea of expanding his center pawns like this, and there's little that black could have done, by the way. For example, if queen e7, pinning the pawn to the king, I believe Magnus was going to play queen e2 and pinning the pawn. And if something like knight h5 by black, I believe pawn to g4 was going to be played. And in case of knight g7, I believe Magnus was just going to develop his minor piece as if nothing is happening. What is this? Okay, the thing is, you are down a piece, but Stockfish thinks you have all the pieces plus 2 extra pawns if you turn on the engine. For example, if pawn to d6 for some reason, you have a lot of things to do, one of which is knight e4. If pawn takes, you can even go bishop g5, attacking this queen. The whole idea is to make black's position cramped. But I'm not saying this is exactly what is going to happen in the game that I plan to play. Guess my opponent is going to play something else. So let's just see how that game can go. And once again, remember that you can now challenge me on Sundays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just go to my website www.casperchess.com and click on the challenges tab. Right. Okay, so this here is my new account, Coach Casper. Why do I feel like losing already? Let me begin with pawn to e4 and play the Gunsberg variation. Pawn to e4. I'm playing against a 1506 rated opponent. So pawn to e5. I think I should go knight f3 and continue with my Gunsberg variation plan of pushing pawn to a3. A prophylactic move later on, and sacrifice my knight on e5. By the way, we make plans before reaching the middle game, guys. Learn to make plans in advance. Most of you guys lose a lot of games because you just want to play by God's grace. It doesn't work that way. You need to fight for your meal. Anyway, I just played knight f3, now black's turn. Knight c6. So let me go knight c3. Yep, knight c3 followed by pawn to a3 in the near future. Okay, there we see bishop c5 by black, so I can already see knight takes e5 sacrifice. So this is what I was talking about, you guys. If one plan doesn't work, you need to resign. Nope, you need to change to another one or another similar idea. But like I was saying, bishop c5 by black is a long-term positional mistake due to knight takes e5. But you know what? I'm just going to play pawn to a3, keeping everything in the spirit of the Gunsberg variation to satisfy your eyeballs. So there we see pawn to a6 by black. So clearly my opponent is just copying my moves. d4 right away is an option, because if bishop takes, I have knight takes, or if pawn takes, knight d5, I also have bishop c4 in the near future. But hey, what do I know? Let me just play knight takes e5 to simplify things for you guys. So yep, let me play knight takes e5. And I should mention to say bishop takes f2 is a theoretical error, because after king takes, white will just take over the center in the near future. Okay, so knight takes e5 by black. Now it's time to go pawn to d4, double attacking the bishop and the knight. Now bishop d6 is not advisable in this line due to d takes e5, and you just don't want to subject your minor pieces to many pawn attacks. The thing is, bishop d6 allows me to take on e5 with tempo, and after black takes back, I'll be ahead in development after playing something like queen f3 or even pawn to f4. So black should have played at least bishop takes d4. That was going to be the correct move. Anyways, d takes e5. Okay, so bishop takes e5 by black as well. So let me go pawn to f4. Oh, black is gonna take my knight. Then let me just play queen f3, because queen f3 will defend my knight and also paves way for my light squad bishop to sit on c4, targeting the weak f7 pawn. Knight f6 has finally appeared, but I think that invites bishop g5, because the idea is to castle long, right? So let me just play bishop g5, or probably bishop f4, or whichever move. Bishop g5, pinning the knight to the queen, preparing to castle long. If h6, nothing. Okay, so knight to f6. I mean, let's just end this. H takes g6 check. Okay, so king takes. Let me go bishop d3 check and just bring the king closer to my territory. So king g5 by black. I have rook. Can I go rook e5 check? Yep. So king f4, rook f5 check. Just trying to bring this king closer to my territory. I just want to punish black for his sins. So the idea is to go bishop e2 check, but I have to go rook h3 first in order to stop black's king from escaping from Sobibo. So yeah, rook h3 and next bishop e2 checkmate. Don't know what black is going to do, but seems there is nothing else that black can do to stop this mate. So knight h5 is a good try, but it doesn't stop me from checkmating black. Bishop e2 checkmate.